All right, so the last thing that we're going to do here is we have these empirical formulas, which aren't that useful, so we need to convert them to molecular formulas. And an important thing to keep in mind here is that it's just the lowest ratio of atoms in a compound. Okay, so the actual formula of this of something that has the empirical formula of this could be C2H4, it could be C3H6, or it could be any multiple of the empirical formula. So there's a mathematical relationship here. Some factor x, some multiple x, times the mass of the empirical formula should give you the molecular formula mass. Okay, just like if I take my here, let's write it this way. Let's make it general. Okay, if I do a to the y and b to the z, okay, that's gonna, if I take that to the x, okay, so here's my adjustment factor, right? Here's my multiple. That's going to be a to the xy, b to the xz, okay? So this is my molecular formula, here's my empirical formula. So like if I did this for, say, this compound, okay, x is going to be 2 times CH2, and that's going to give me C to the 2 times 1, which is C to the 2, and H times 2 to the 2, so that's 4. So C2H4, okay? And you would expect the molecular formula of C2H4 to have double the mass of the empirical formula CH2. So I could give you this as part of one of those other problems, in which case these would be a rather long problem where you find the empirical formula first and then you can convert the empirical formula to the molecular formula. But in this example, I've just given you the empirical formula, and I give you the molar mass of the compound, which means that this is the molecular formula, right? This is the molar mass of the molecular formula. So the first thing that we need to know is what is the empirical formula of that? So the empirical formula mass is 77.467 grams per mole. So if I take that 77.467, no, before we do that, I want you to get in the habit of solving equations for your unknown variable. So x times the empirical formula mass equals the molecular formula mass. And we need to find x so that we can convert our empirical formula to our molecular formula. So x is the molecular formula mass over the empirical formula mass, and that's 232.41 grams per mole over 77.467 grams per mole. Notice the units cancel, so this x shouldn't have a unit, which is what we get. And so x equals 3. So I know that if I take the empirical formula and I multiply all those by 3, I'll get the molecular formula. And that's really easy because those are all 1. And I'll even take this extra step. OCNCl, which equals O3C3N3Cl3. Okay? So that is converting empirical formula to molecular formula.